With all of life's stressors, it can be challenging to stay balanced and healthy. Hemp-derived cannabinoid, or CBD supplements such as Plus CBD oil are becoming well recognized as a key supplement to optimize wellness. By working directly with our own internal system that maintains homeostasis, the endocannabinoid system, CBD, can help restore the body's natural rhythm when we need it the most. Learn more about Plus CBD oil and how to balance the system that balances you from www.pluscbdoil.com. That's www.pluscbdoil.com.
Welcome to the Good Intention Show, coming to you live on the UI Radio Network. The Good Intention Show is sponsored by the United Intentions Foundation at unitedintentions.org, a virtual community where you learn to create, track, and manifest your passions one intention at a time. Look for us on Blog Talk, Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, and many more. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram under United Intentions and on Twitter at Higher Intention. Yes, this is the Good Intention Show, where you will meet people who live life intentionally and hear about things they're not telling you in the mainstream media. And now, here's the truth seeker, the snake charmer, a legend in his own mind, broadcasting live all over the universe, your host, Mr. Tim Ray.
Hello. Wow. What a show we have for you today, guys. Getting back with our exes. God, who would think? I can't even possibly imagine that. However, do you know how many people are? And it really is the ex the one to blame? Takes two to tango. Maybe we got our own deals we got to look at. Well, we're going to learn all about that today. We got VeronicaIsles here, calling from sunny California, sharing her wisdom and what she does. She's a life coach and a motivational speaker, and a brilliant woman who's going to share her specialty, which is how to get back with the ones that you love, re-engage. Great show today, guys. Don't miss it. So much more to come. Well, first I want to mention a few things. What a great weekend I had, Wahid. I have I have Daniel Brinkley in town, spending a couple weeks with me. I have family coming in for a birthday party on Saturday. So much going on. It's just going to be an incredible week. And we also got our new products, guys. Our planners, our intentional planners are out and rolling. Even Veronica's a big fan of them too, which we're going to find out here shortly. And we just got so much going on in reference to the success of the future of the United Intentions Foundation. In fact, we're having our launch party for Awaken Atlanta, #1 conscious morning show in the world. Shannon McVeigh, co-host, as well as I, talk about the top issues going on in the world. This month of, what are we in, April now? Month of April. By the way, I did get a few people already on April Fool's Day, and our executive producer is still very upset with me because we got her. But I digress. April is the month of media, and on Tuesday, tomorrow morning, we'll be talking about celebrities and entertainment, but from a perspective and angle that you may not realize before. So you're not going to want to miss that. Check us out, 6:30 a.m. tomorrow morning on Awaken Atlanta. Download our app, uimediaapp.com. That's uimediaapp.com. Don't worry about going to the App Store. Just go right to URL, Safari or Google, whatever you got, browser, and then put in uimediaapp.com, and you have all our shows forever and ever, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Isn't that great? All right, so hello, WDJY out there, 99.1 listeners. Also in Kentucky and Ohio, WTTA, 102.2, I believe. And also we got Talk 10 FM, Atlanteans, Metro Atlantia. Atlantis, I should say, because we're all from Atlantis, aren't we? Maybe not. You don't believe that, do you? Well, I do. Yeah, it's crazy talk now, but much more to come when it comes to speaking your truth. Who knows what's true, what's not? We live in an upside-down world, guys. What we think's up is down. What we think is sideways is the other way. What is in is out. So we got to use our intuition. We got to tap into our own GPS and figure out what's really going on in this world. So here you go. All right, last thing I want to mention is today we got Beth Peters interviews coming up. She's interviewing Adele Wang, one of my favorite folks out there. She's incredible, incredible lady. You're gonna not want to miss that at 3 o'clock today, right? 3 p.m. Eastern time. And wow, she's gonna have a lot to say. You're gonna not want to miss that. So, Veronica Isles, guys. Let's talk about getting back with her exes. Some people, it's a very scary thought. Some people, it's exactly what's supposed to happen. So we'll find out. Let's get to the root of the issue. Veronica, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. I'm
Welcome.
doing wonderful. I am though in Chicago. I'm not in sunny
Oh,
California,
in
so
Chicago. Chicago, you're right.
it's not exactly that sunny here. So I just wanted to let you know
I'm
that.
glad you said that
Right.
because I have some good friends in Chicago, and Chicago, Chicago's a tough town, but it's a beautiful town in the
It
sense of
is. It's
the people.
amazing.
And people like they think of California as this sunny place, and often is chemtrailing and it's raining all the time. So it's just a different experience you have. Although they're doing that in Chicago and everywhere in the world, but nevertheless, Chicago, the windy city, right?
Yes, the Windy City. Lots of wind. Yep. It's where I was born and raised. So fifth generation here. So excited.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
very proud to be from Chicago.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you better be because you get beat up if you're not.
Right. Exactly.
I'm originally from New York, and
Uh,
then of course my family we lived in Jersey for most of my life, and
oh
so
yeah.
Northeast is my place. But Chicago's not too far. At
Yeah.
least the attitude's very similar. Chicago and New
Exactly.
York,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You just don't stare in people's eyes for too long when you're walking down the
Right.
street. That's all.
No,
So,
you don't.
Veronica, this is wonderful. You're doing some great work out there, and
Thanks.
who, honestly, no one ever takes on that topic of
Right.
re-engaging with your ex or your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend, your ex-wife,
Yeah.
ex-husband, because usually when you've been down that road, you're like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm done. I don't ever go back again. But you have a
Mhm.
different take on this. But before we
Yeah.
go there, tell me about your relationships. All right, that you want to share
Yeah.
publicly. All right.
Right.
Because not every ex is going to be
Mhm.
somebody you want to go with. But I will tell you
No.
this. I will tell you this as you ready to share the story. It's really, I believe, because I never really thought too much about it until I'm talking to you on this topic. But really, a lot of it has to do with that. It takes two to tango. Like
Yeah.
when you go back out with your ex again, or you break up with your ex,
Mhm.
they find somebody and they're very happy. And you like, when it comes to exes, as long as they're happy, but not as happy as you, then it's okay. That seems to be the take on that, right? So tell me about your past relationships that you like to share.
Yeah, well, that's sort of how I got started doing this because I was someone that was very unlucky in love, had a lot of sort of issues. I always had guys leaving me and never really could fully be loved. Like I didn't understand how to be loved. And that's sort of when I got turned on to sort of the ideas like the law of attraction, mindful, manifesting, that sort of thing in terms of, being responsible for your own experiences and changing from within to be able to heal a relationship and to attract a new relationship. And a lot of times, you'll know when someone is important to you. Like you may have a breakup, but you may feel like the story with them isn't over yet, that there's more to experience. And that's sort of, the kind of people that I help in terms of my coaching, sort of healing relationships, starting a brand new one, not attracting the old one, but attracting a better version and being your best self so that the other person can bring their best self as well.
Well, you said so much in there. It's so important
Yeah.
because when you do transform within to be your best
Hmm.
self, right? And we'll talk about
Yeah.
what that looks like in a minute.
Hmm.
But when you do focus on that, you do kind of like law of attraction, raise the
Yeah.
frequency or dial into a
Hmm.
frequency that
Yeah.
matches and you attract that person towards you.
Hmm.
So, why would that not work within a present relationship? Why can't that happen? Why can't you?
Well, yeah, you can transform a current relationship because a lot of people are dissatisfied in their current relationships. They're frustrated the other person isn't doing and saying the things they want, but it starts from within. Like you can't place all the blame on that other person. You need to change your expectations of them, what you feel that you are capable of receiving. And it's all about the worth you place on yourself. Like someone can't love you until you fully love yourself. And a lot of people become codependent. You have to learn how to become independent in your own skin. Don't rely on someone else for your own happiness. Be happy first, then you can join the other person, as equal parts.
God, it's tough though when you're in the middle of a relationship and
Right.
you haven't been working that, right, Veronica, and you've just been
Right.
you're to the point where you're in contempt, right? It's like a
Right.
judge, this is contempt, right? And you really don't like that other person, and that other person really doesn't like you, but you're still emotionally codependent on each other
Hmm.
in that very dysfunctional way that a lot of relationships
Yeah.
experience. What advice do you give people to try to start? Can you? Maybe you can't when you're in contempt to pull back from there, or can you?
Well, I think sometimes you do need to distance yourself from that person and work on yourself. Like you need to take some time out for you. Your relationship with that other person isn't all about that person. It's really about you and your feelings about yourself. So I always tell people, it's not about, because they always want to focus on the other person, how to change the other person. It's more so, changing, learning how to love yourself again,
Right.
learning how to appreciate yourself, learning that you're amazing, all the unique qualities that you have that no one else has, and why someone else can love you. Because that's something I never really understood, how to be loved.
The why, great
Hmm.
point. The why. And what are some of the reasons why you believe? Because it's not just only. I mean, it's probably more predominant with the female
Hmm.
of wanting that because I don't know, males tend to lose focus and wander, for whatever reason, especially the younger men. But why do you think it is that we don't think of the why I should be loved? I mean, why do you think that?
Well, I think a lot of people have insecurities. They don't think they have much value. They already set up in their mind that the other person is going to discard them or dismiss them or not love them. So it's like they're setting themselves up for failure. And I do coach equally males and females, so it is interesting that males have just as many of these issues as women do. Maybe they just don't admit to
Yeah.
it.
Are men really from Mars? That's what I want to know. I mean, maybe we are.
Well,
And women from Venus.
yeah,
I don't
I
know.
mean, I think there's sort of a different type of thinking, but I've noticed a lot of the common insecurities, common goals, common, traits. I mean, I don't really, coach males and females differently. It's pretty much the same,
Right.
at least in my experience.
Yeah. Listen, I was listening to a Teal Swan a promo or I don't know what it
Mhm.
was, maybe a minute long, and she was talking about how guys just don't get women because of the trust factor. Women, she did it in a sample where she was in a room full of women and men, and she
Mhm.
said, "Okay, everybody who lives in fear in the last year, raise your hand. Who has fear, who experienced fear." And most people raise their hand, and when the guys raise their hand, inevitably they said they could come up with a few different incidences why they felt fear, right? And of course women raised their hand too. And then she brought it down to like a month and within a day, and
Mhm.
the men's hands started dropping, but the women's hands stayed up. And her point
Mhm.
was that women have a certain level of consistent fear, whether they acknowledge or not, where men don't. And this is the difference when men just can't identify when women is in a light level of fear. Men's are more circumstantial, but women, there's this constant fear. You got to watch yourself when you go on a date. You got to make sure your friends know who you're going out with. I mean, there's a whole nother level of dynamics that men just don't acknowledge. So when women with a man, her
Mhm.
point being is that the man has to realize that there's a certain level of security that I'm stereotyping here, but a certain level of security that women would like, where men may
Mhm.
not be aware of that and just disconnected from it. So when you make somebody feel comfortable and trusting, in an
Yeah.
honest, authentic way, you could get their love and get their
Mhm.
trust as well. Do you believe anything
That's
to that?
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely onto something. I mean, interestingly enough, I mean, again, males, I feel like maybe they just, I feel like they need the same amount of acceptance, quite honestly.
Well,
Maybe,
I don't doubt that.
yeah.
I think they do. They may not be in fear as often, but the reference to they want the nurturing, they
Well,
want the love. They may. I don't know. You're the
mhm.
you're the expert. It's
Well,
your
I mean,
experience.
I coach a lot of men, and I feel like they are just
Okay.
in as much fear. I
All
think
right.
a lot of times it's just not on the surface. Like women are more easily to admit that, especially in a public way.
Yeah.
You
Men
know,
men men don't cry.
they
Yes.
keep it more inside.
Right. 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 And you have the ability to let them feel comfortable and let it out.
Yeah, sort
Right.
of to open up.
Open
Yeah.
up.
So my coaching sessions, yeah, are obviously, they're confidential. They're sort of, really close in terms of being able to have someone feel safe and have me
Yes.
help them. I help a lot of people.
Well, I
So
feel
yeah.
safe. I feel safe with you. I
Oh,
definitely would.
awesome.
I definitely would take your help. With no problem whatsoever. And can you imagine somebody? She says she has unlucky in love. Look at her. Look at her personality. Everything. When we
I
get,
can't imagine that.
I know, right? It's just hard to believe. But
I
this is
was confused and dumbfounded too. I couldn't believe it. Like I thought I was defective. I was like, what's wrong with me? Why are people rejecting me?
exactly. But once you shifted that within
Yeah.
yourself, things
Then it
changed.
changed.
And when we
It
when we
changed 1,000%.
when we get back from break, Veronica, let's talk about that shift, what it takes to shift, and to share some of your secret sauce a little bit with your secret sauce, not
Yeah.
all of it. You want people to call you, guys. We're talking to Veronica Isles. She's a life coach and motivational speaker, and a beautiful soul transforming lives, and going to share a little bit with us when we get back. A secret sauce, if you want, how do you get re-engaged with your present situation in your relationship if it's gone awry, or how do you get back with an ex? Somebody's been apart for a while. Come on, don't you want to know that answer? I do. I think I do. Maybe I do. I don't know if I do. But guys, we'll be right back. A lot more to come. We'll see you in a minute.
Hi, my name is Beth Peters, Atlanta-based psychic, medium, animal communicator, and your host for the Psychic Soup. Mondays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WDJY 99.1 FM. I bring in fascinating guests and touch on everyday topics, but with a psychic's twist. From high-profile psychics to psychic fanatics, I like to talk to people and learn how us psychics can help them in ways they've never dreamed of. Have any questions you'd like me to answer? Call 678-495-4345, and I'll be happy to take your call. You can also watch me on Facebook Live at United Intentions Foundation, where you can post your questions in the comment section. Find the Psychic Soup on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and many more platforms. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at United Intentions, and on Twitter at Higher Intention. So relax, take a deep breath, and dive into the Psychic Soup. A spoonful of psychics for soulful readings come true.
All right, guys. Listen, before I get started again with Veronica, we have callers calling in already and comments on Facebook too, which we'll get to, guys, so hang in there. But I have to say, we have this incredible sponsor, Plus CBD Oil, and I love when they send products. And this is one product here is the CBD Oil Extra Strength Rub. And this is also the CBD pills as well as the CBD Oil Spray. I've been using, I work out, right? I work out. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I work out. But I've been, as you get older, you get a little more, you feel the joints here and there. And in my elbows, you get kind of tennis elbow once in a while, you're doing some weights. I've been using for the last week this CBD oil cream, and it has been a tremendous increase of stopping my pain. And, it's amazing. Now when I work out, I put a little bit on there, and I'm able to do my tricep workout, which I couldn't because of the pain, right? And it just loosens it up. And I don't know what it does, but it works. So discover the benefits of this Plus CBD oil. Find out more information, guys. Go to pluscbdoil.com. That's pluscbdoil.com. And check out these products. They're simple, easy, and they work very well. And this is the future. So, guys, I strongly recommend you check it out. All right. So we're talking to Veronica Isles, and she's a life coach and a motivational speaker, as well as many other things. She said she was unlucky in love, which is unbelievable because she's not only gorgeous, but she has the mindset of like a law of attraction. You come across, were you more anxious, Veronica, back then? Because you're so laid back now.
No, but I had the belief, and I would constantly tell myself, sort of setting myself up for defeat, like
Gotcha.
that someone will get bored of me, someone will
Right.
tire of me, someone will see that I'm really not that great, sort of insecurities,
Yeah, the
which
not
I think are really
enoughness.
common. Yeah.
All right. That is very common. In fact, that's probably 99% of our population out there.
Yeah, sort of overcoming and rewriting those, core beliefs that are just haunting you. And they start in childhood, really, this sort of a need for acceptance.
Right. Do you want to take a caller? I think we have a caller. Are you
Yeah.
good for that? Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Hey, caller, what's your name?
Corey.
Corey. Hey, Corey, how are you? You have a question for
Um,
Veronica.
yeah, I'm actually a student of hers and pretty successful. I want to know, uh, I usually get success with her method when I'm around the person, but if I don't see them regularly, it's a little bit more difficult.
Okay, Veronica, can you hear him?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely, and I love Corey.
okay, great.
I I I'm so excited that he got to call in. Yeah, I think that I think a lot of times people have the preconceived idea that if you're not physically near someone, they can't feel your energy. But I'm sort of the belief that we're all sort of intuitively connected with one another, and even if you're a half a world away, I feel like someone, if you're connected with someone, that they're going to feel you and they're going to sort of feel your intention. So I feel like you can attract someone, if they're in the same room with you, they can be attracted to you or a half a world away. I feel like the universe is amazing in its ability to bring us together. You think of someone you haven't talked to in a while, they call you the next day,
Right.
that sort of thing.
That's a great point. Hey, Corey, thank you for calling in. Wonderful question. So let me expound on that because this brings a whole nother dynamic into the
Yeah.
relationships, like they call LAT relationships, lat relationships, living apart together. So you're,
Hmm.
and usually for some older folks there who've already raised kids and they may live in different states or they may live in
Hmm.
different houses or
Yeah.
whatever it may be. But so on an energetic stamp, which we talk all the time about energy, we have psychics who are able to communicate and read people from thousands
Hmm.
of miles away. So
Yeah.
if that is part of our reality, this energy stamp that we have and
Yeah.
connecting with that, then why wouldn't it work in relationships too,
Yeah,
like you
exactly.
suggested, right?
Yeah, relationships, I mean, we're so connected with that other person. I think emotions get in the way a lot of times, and we can be blinded by emotions,
Yeah,
fear, anger, even just lovesick. Like it can just make you go kind of wacky. So I think being in control of your emotions, use them for good,
right.
instead of letting it control you.
Right. No, listen, I think that's wonderful. And I think it's a whole nother dynamic of looking at it because where I think a lot of people who have a hard time, even when they're living together, they're not together, right? It could be a very lonely place when you're
Yeah.
living with someone and you're not connected to each other. It's
Yeah,
ironic,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people struggle more. It's like they find it easier to connect with someone if they're in a different country as opposed to if they're living in the same house. But I think that again, it's you create your own obstacles. Like you can be connected with someone. It doesn't have to be difficult, just because they're close by. I mean, and you're sort of confronted with all of their, the things that are frustrating you right now, you can still have hope and belief for tomorrow because every day is a new day and changes can happen and it's a work in progress. Like you have to give it a chance to get better. Like it didn't go bad overnight. You need to give it a chance to get better.
Right. Billy on Facebook goes, "I love my lats." um, LAT. I think it's brilliant. At the same time, when we're talking about exes, how do you
Mhm.
get past the part what you didn't like about your ex, or she didn't like, or he didn't like about you, to
Mhm.
re-engage? Because it's going to come up again unless somebody's transformed that energy.
Yeah, and I think that people do change. Like, I mean, when I started sort of learning about taking responsibility for my own actions, I would notice that when I made improvements, the other person kind of naturally rose to the occasion too. And I think that you have to set the example. Like, you can't force someone to change. Like, you can't sort of nitpick at them and throw it in their face and be aggressive about it. But if you just sort of set a good example, of wanting to start fresh, wanting to start again, I feel like the other person again will, match your level. You have to set the positive, sort of standard of what you want. And if people come together, I mean, they come together all the time. I have a lot of success stories. Yeah.
What about you? Are you actually involved with any of your exes? By
Well,
the way, all my exes are in Texas, just so you know.
well, I mean,
I had to
oh
say
really?
that, man.
Oh, that was a joke. I mean, it rhymes. I get it. Took me a moment.
Hey,
Sometimes I'm slow.
that's an old Willie Nelson
Is
song,
it?
right? Yeah,
Oh, is it? I
yeah,
didn't even know.
yeah.
I thought you were just rhyming. I thought you made it up. I didn't know it
No,
was
no.
Willie
Listen,
Nelson.
man, I'll take
I was
credit,
giving
but
you credit for
I
it.
know I got to give it to Willie. All my exes are in Texas. But so, what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like any man that I was ever involved with, I did break up with. So yes, my current relationship, I did. It was rocky, but then came together perfectly. So, I mean, I think that I, sort of learned through the years, and I mean, there's plenty of people from my past that I don't want to be back with, but want to be back with me. So that's once you start to
Nah,
really
nah, nah,
master
nah,
this,
nah, nah,
you
nah,
get
nah,
the
nah, nah.
confidence, and then sort of the old exes come out of the woodwork. It's really interesting.
It
Yeah.
is. See, once again, Veronica, it's an energy shift. Once you
Yeah.
shift that energy, and this is what I tell people all the time: project your energy ahead of time. Shift it within yourself, and you'll see a change from outside. Now, I don't always practice what I preach, but I do know that to be true. And at the same time, things just shift. Like even for guys who are like, oh man, I never go out. I go out and I never get the girl, whatever, because you keep saying to yourself, like you were saying earlier, I never get the girl. This is the talk that's going in. So that
Yeah.
energy
Yeah.
frequency is what's being
Exactly.
amplified out.
Yeah, you're setting out that intention, and you're receiving exactly what you're scripting for yourself.
Come on. I mean, it can't be any more simple than that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
so
that's
back to the ex and getting back with the
mhm.
ex.
Yeah.
So you may want to give some examples of stories of the ones that you've seen successfully get back with their exes. They have to shift within themselves. But I mean, what about some of these really heavy, after 90 days, you learn to live with the person, you realize, wow, I really don't like the fact what they do, like the
Right.
shaving clippings in the sink or,
Well,
whatever it may be. How do you
I
get past
mean,
all that?
yeah, I think that you really have to logically say, why do I want this person back? Why do I want to be with this person? Because a lot of times you may want to let this person go and you may want to move on to someone else. But again, inside, and I never judge or tell someone, that they shouldn't be with someone. It's everyone's personal preference. In your heart whether or not you want to experience more with this person. And a lot of times things like that will be annoying. But you can move past that. Like if you want to love someone, you want to make it work, I think that there's a way to sort of compromise on these things if you're determined enough. And you can attract, things that the other person used to do that frustrated you, like they can stop doing them.
Mm,
I've seen it happen.
right, right.
It's like you're attracting that frustration because it annoys you so much, and you're sort of,
So
setting
you
yourself
got to
up for
love it.
that.
That you got to go through it. You got to love it, and once you love it, you neutralize it, and then they don't do it
Well,
anymore. In a way,
love, it's amazing how someone can stop doing the very thing that annoys you when you stop giving it attention. Because
and
every time you
energy.
get so emotionally charged by it, like, I hate this, this bothers me so much. You're having that trigger inside of you. If you can just become immune to it, I feel like the other person just naturally stops doing it.
Listen, that is a law of attraction right there, Veronica.
Yeah.
And by the way, George Strait, not Willie Nelson.
Oh, really?
Thank you, Billy. Sorry, I didn't want to take it away from George Strait then either. All my exes from Texas.
Yeah.
You're gonna go back after the show. You're gonna listen. You're gonna play that song. You watch. Yeah, tell you what. Give me your theme
I'm
song on your own
curious now.
radio show that you're gonna start one day.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
that's funny.
so um, one thing I have to say about your exes is
Mhm.
that uh, when you do focus on what you love about them and not what
Yes.
you don't love about them,
Hmm.
things do shift and change.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Even
causes.
in a
Mhm.
platonic
Mhm,
relationship, say
yeah.
you're not
No, this
emotionally,
works in friendships
yeah,
too, family relationships, because a lot of people have strained relationships with their parents or siblings, anything like that.
right, right. Well, and it's a good lesson to understand and to learn because it's a tough lesson too because it puts the pressure, not pressure, but it puts the responsibility on who? On you.
Yep, exactly. A lot of people don't want to think that they had any part in creating that or attracting that, but it's all, you have to take responsibility. That's the hardest part because people think, if there's a breakup, that it's all the other person's fault, but you need to see your part in this. And once you can, then you can change, and then thus the results change with it. But you
You,
do need to take
you
responsibility.
hit on something very very important because when you do, like most people who are say in the end part of the relationship, they start pulling their friends and family to all gang up on the other person. It's
Yeah,
all their fault because you're hearing
right,
that one side of the story. You're hearing how
right.
horrible and abusive or how horrible
Yeah.
she is or how horrible he is, and after a while it's only hearing one side of the story, you start believing it to be true, right? And you're
Hmm.
not taking into account there are two sides of the story,
Yeah.
and there's matching frequencies, and how you attract that other person because you're at
Hmm.
that level of where you
Yeah.
are emotionally.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
get back from
Mhm.
break. Let's explore that a little bit more because I think that's a big key to success, and why that happens when you feel like it's always their fault. And how do we claim that power back? How do we claim from claim to be the victor from the victim, right? I think that's very critical, Veronica. And I know you got a lot of experience and wisdom you can share with us on that as well.
Yeah,
Guys, we're
absolutely.
talking to Veronica Isles. We're gonna talk about her books. She has like 4 or 5 books out right now. Check her out too. Go to her YouTube. She owns YouTube, right? She runs YouTube. It's youtube.com/ Veronica Isles. And check her out. It's really cool stuff. She's doing incredible work out there. So please go support her and look at her videos. We'll be right back, guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know you've been going through a lot lately. It's hard for you to trust, but I'm here to tell you that I'm gonna change all that for you, baby. And that's real. Check this out.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Amy Dayries, a general and integrative dentist in Roswell, Georgia, and I'm also a spokesperson for the American Dental Association. You know, as a dentist, I tell my patients that the mouth is the window to one's overall health, just as the eyes are the window to one's soul. After working in general dentistry for the last 25 years, it has become my desire to offer good health resource information to everyone around me, empowering members of the public to become their best, healthiest selves. The Whole Healing Radio Show features practitioners from dentistry, healthcare, and nutrition about the cutting-edge techniques available. Together, my guests and I will show you how to implement lifestyle changes, achieve your personal goals for health, and heal the parts of you that may have been forgotten. When your health is intact, you can go on to manifest your ultimate dreams. Become the best version of yourself. Join me, Dr. Amy Dayries, on the Whole Healing Radio Show to learn how.
All right, we are back. And guys, listen, I want to mention real quick here. If you want to sponsor our show here, just give us a call at 678-495-4345. Or go to contact us at uimedianetwork.org. And we'll share information like the CBD oil that I love. I mean, I love this stuff so much. And you'll be hearing a lot about it. It's called Plus CBD Oil at pluscbdoil.com. And I use it all the time now. And it's just amazing how it works. And you hear about it, but unless you start doing it, you'll see the benefits of it immediately. It's one of the things that affects you immediately. It doesn't like take 3 or 4 days to get into your system. And there's so much about CBD oil that I've learned over the last year or so, how we have these certain parts of our brain. It's just meant to take in receptors, meant to take in CBD oil. I mean, CBD, cannabis, whatever it is, I'm not talking about the was it THC?
THC.
THC. I'm talking about the oil extract that is not hallucinogenic at all. That just heals our body. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to have a lot of shows on CBD oil, too, coming up in the future. All right, so we are talking to Veronica Isles, and she she is a 40-something life coach based in Chicago area, and she's been on YouTube for 5 years now, and she's doing amazing work out there. She's basically has to kick all her exes away, and because they all want her back now, And shame on you guys for not seeing the diamond in the rough there years ago. All right, so you lose, she wins. So it is kind of an issue when you're with your ex, and you got to look at how I mean, I'm a pretty, I think, well-balanced person who looks at many different sides of the coin, but I got caught up into blaming my ex for all the woes and all the problems. And I'm sure, she has done the same to me. And even past girlfriends, not just the ex-wife. So it's amazing how you really have to refocus that, because it's easy to be the victim, isn't it? When, one little thing pops up. So do you find it hard to forgive some of your exes or some of the ones you've been involved in because of what they have done?
Me personally,
Well,
no.
you in your work, other people too as well.
Oh, yes. No, definitely. I mean, I obviously have overcome that, but that's sort of, I work from experience. All of the advice that I give has been proven in my own life. And of course, people find it hard to forgive the other person. They want to hold on to this past hurt, this past pain. But if you're constantly holding on to that, how can you move forward just in having a happy life in general? Even if you don't want this person back, like if you keep reliving that pain, like you're just going to keep attracting new situations to sort of mirror that pain, because it's all that's going on inside of you. You're constantly holding that in your consciousness, and life is going to find a way to sort of mirror that right back at you. So I think, yeah.
And then you find yourself, Veronica, out of that relationship in with another relationship with the same
Yeah, same
energy, just
exact
a different
pattern.
face, just a
Yeah,
different
that would
body.
happen to me.
Oh,
And I'd
really?
be like, "Hey, wait a second, these people are completely different. Why are they saying the same exact things?" It was really, and that's how I knew that something was wrong. Like I knew it had to be me. It couldn't have been them because I kept purposely picking people that were completely different and they would say and do the same things.
God, that's an eye opener right there. To you have the
Yeah.
power to create your own reality, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, all my clients, they always say, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? The same disappointment over and over again. It's because you're setting yourself up for that. You're expecting that. It's your intention. You're not meaning to. Obviously, you don't want to set yourself up for pain or failure, but until you become mindful of what you're really feeling and thinking, it'll keep happening.
I mean, this is the subconscious beliefs and programs that are below the threshold of understanding consciously. And I know through your coaching technique, you help bring people to that awareness. You help raise that
Yeah.
level of what is the old programming that's actually
Mhm.
creating your reality with your
Yeah, it's
relationships, right?
hindering you, and you can change your old programming. Like it doesn't have control over you. You have control over it. Like it's going to listen to whatever you are thinking and feeling. So start thinking and feeling differently and it will change. But I mean it's like a new habit, it's like learning a new language. You don't expect to learn Italian overnight or in one session. You need to persist with it. It's like willpower.
Right,
You have to stay true and stay consistent to the new you, and through change, it'll happen. You just need to give it time.
right. And effort, time and effort.
Yes.
So, are there some ex relationships you
Mhm.
believe that you just can never go back to?
No, I mean, I think any situation can be healed. It depends on how much effort the person is willing to put in. Are you going to do it in the proper way? A lot of times people become obsessive when they learn about ideas like this, and then it sort of backfires. Like, you can't, your journey in attracting back an ex is about you, it's not about that person. So, you need to reclaim your life. You need to move forward. A lot of people think that's moving on, but you need to move forward to a place where a new relationship can begin. If you stay stuck, you'll stay stuck in that heartache, that pain, that frustration.
Right. And that goes along with even the in-laws or
Right. Yeah,
because
strained, any strained relationship, with your boss, your coworker, anything, your son, your strange son, like stuff like that.
some people hearing this for the first time got to be thinking, "Oh, you guys are crazy." Come on. I can never go back to that job. I can never go back to that ex. I can never go. But you're, ri-
Right.
but when it really boils down to, you could do anything you want. You're saying because once you
Hmm.
shift, once you shift that
Yeah.
focus and belief within yourself,
Yeah.
it shifts outside of yourself.
Yeah, it does. And it's pretty profound how it happens. I mean, you set yourself up for a new result. But again, it takes commitment. People give up on it too soon because they're expecting instant results. We live in a world of instantly being able to access things, but it doesn't happen instantly. Give it a chance to really shift and take into effect. But it's amazing. I mean, that's how miracles happen. That's how
Right.
healed relationships happen. That's how people start fresh. That's how love happens.
Right. Well,
So,
do you think people who have graduated into a relationship where they're staying together because it's convenient or because the money situation or the kid
right.
situation, do you feel like that even those can be resolved?
I mean, I feel like this technique works in anything. Like, it's not just about, healing a strained relationship. It's about fixing your finances or fixing the feelings of having the right career or the right job or your happiness in life. Like, it's really all about taking responsibility for the kind of life you're living and deciding on a new result, intending on better experiences, realizing that you're worth more than your current situation. I mean, a lot of people feel stuck, a lot of people feel trapped,
Mm,
but you can free yourself from that. And it takes freeing yourself from within. You can't feel those trappings inside, even though they're happening in the exterior. Feel open, feel free, feel like you can access wonderful things.
wow. You know, how do you argue with that? Because if you don't give it a try, you'll never know. Some
Right.
people, some people really just want to blame the other person, and
Yeah.
you
Or
know, and
blame. blame circumstance.
blame the circumstance.
Right.
It was because of them I did this. It was because of them
Right.
I cheated on them. It was because, and it's a
Yeah.
rationalization, really, if you boil it down to. But if anybody out there has a question while we have Veronica online, give us a call, 678-495-4345, and she'll do some life coaching right here online
Yeah.
live. Yeah. Yeah. But otherwise
Absolutely.
you got to pay her $1 million and call her up
Yeah.
later on.
No, not $1 million, but yeah.
No, yeah, you don't want to give yourself away free. Come on,
No.
Jeez.
Well.
No, he goes, well. He's so funny. She's funny. So here it is. One thing that I think what happens in relationships over time is we lose the reason why we love the person in the first place,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
How do you get that back?
It's getting back in touch with the person you were at the beginning of the relationship. A lot of people are like, well, they're not the same anymore, this isn't the person that I originally fell in love with. But you're not the same person. Like, you've lost yourself too, and you need to really get in touch. Like, who were you then? What did you focus on then? A lot of times, people had more like a wider social life or a wider sense of independence. When you first meet someone, it's like, because you're not with the other person, you kind of know who you are in a more profound way, and that's why you come together with someone. But then once relationship starts, it's like you sort of merge with the other person and you lose too much of yourself. So
Mm.
it's like reclaiming who you were, the excitement for life, your hope, your aspirations, your goals, reclaim all of that, and it'll better your relationship with this person, and they'll change too. You set the standard.
Don't you wish you knew this? Don't you wish you were taught this in as a kid?
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like we're taught the opposite. It would be so helpful to learn this in like elementary school.
I know.
Like, it would be so wonderful. Like, seriously.
Just think of the emotional teenage relationship years. You could
Yeah.
avoid all that craziness there.
Yeah.
So, do you have children?
I don't. I
Okay,
would love
okay,
to have children though. It's something
okay.
I want in the future.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Well, listen, listen. Hey, you can have any ex you want. Every ex wants to get back with you. So you can have anytime you want to have children. You just got to snap your finger. I'm sure it'll happen. But no, but think about that. I really mean that. I just don't. I think if people understood the law of attraction, or at least understood how we create our reality, and we created a children's program called the Imagine If program, where literally teaches first grade to 12th grade children
Yeah.
how their thoughts create their experience, how the thoughts change your perception, you change your experience, right? And I just wish I knew that rather than now, because boy, where would I be today, right? If
Yeah,
we
exactly.
knew that, and all the dopey relationships that I put myself in and had the wrong,
Right.
not wrong, but I had the limited perception on how they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to look like, and what I was willing to accept and not accept. And I mean, it could have been a whole nother experience. I think we'd have a whole nother world, wouldn't we, if children knew that one little thing.
Yeah, we'd be sort of awakening into a better tomorrow. I mean, there'd be so much more peace, so much more love, because people would be feeling fulfilled as opposed to disappointed all the time.
Yeah, and then when you are disappointed all the time, what do? We act it out onto others, you know? And like you, what you're doing now is you're acting out onto others because you're fulfilled. And you're sharing this now with others, and you're doing
Yeah,
it
it's a great
beautifully,
feeling.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Seriously, isn't it? I mean, it
Be able
really
to
is.
impact lives for the better. Yeah. No, it's the best feeling in the world. Yeah.
Because you may not think it's enough, or people may not think who's doing this. And I love life coaches because our whole world needs this more than ever before, because it's an awakening within themselves. And once you awaken within yourself, your first, thank God, spiritual, divine motivation, whatever you want to call it, is to now share that with others and to get
Yeah.
it out there. And I thank God for that, because that tells me that we are waking up one person at a time. And now you're touching. Think of all the people you touched over the years. Literally,
Yeah.
you transform, like Corey. I could tell from when
Mhm.
Corey called in,
Yeah.
he really, I mean, you could tell that he really, really is wants the truth and wants to transform himself. And as you transform yourself, you transform everyone around you. And I just think that's just
Yeah.
a magical place
Right.
to be right now.
It's so wonderful. The universe appreciates kindness, and it's sort of, you do for others, and your life continues to get better. So it's amazing, sort of that effect of spreading love, because then, you share the knowledge with someone else and they share it with others, and it's this whole effect.
Right.
And I think it is bringing about a better world.
Hey, heaven on earth, baby. That's how it's done, right there. You're watching it in action. So, tell me some struggles, challenges you have with this type of coaching and with your clients? I know end result, challenges, because I know the end result is going to be great as you go through it all, but there's got to be some challenges dealing with this type of information when you're sharing.
I mean, I think a lot of times people are just resistant. Like, I can provide the information, I can sort of talk till I'm blue in the face, but they have to do the work. Like, I can't do it for them. I think sometimes people think that just by talking to me that it'll just magically change. And it doesn't. Like, I can give the information, I can give the support, but you have to, I mean, the person
Yeah.
has to actually
Yeah.
do the work,
So you're not
make the effort.
you're not the X fairy.
Right, no.
You don't
No.
have your wand and it just happens.
No, but I mean, I'm really good at identifying someone's, the point they need to hone in on.
Right.
And I think, yeah.
No, I think it's wonderful. And we get back from another break here. Listen to our sponsors. Let's talk about some of the resources and some of the tools that you do share, from your ebooks to many other things you share with helping people transform themselves, so then they could transform who they are with, whether it's your intimate loved one or it's a family member. It doesn't matter who it is. This formula, as you say, works for all, guys. This is incredible information. If you're not watching it right now and you're watching it later on, please share this with as many people as you can. You go to Facebook and push share right now, or download the app, uimediaapp.com, and start sharing that as in addition to. You're going to find that when you share this information, you're now transforming people's lives, and you're not even a life coach, right? But you could be one. You could be one vicariously through Veronica Isles. Guys, we'll be right back with this fantastic soul making the world a better place. We'll see you in a second.
It's time to wake up, Atlanta. Wake up your inner self to the power of your intentions. Wake up to co-create the life you desire. Wake up to a conscious way of looking at the world with the uncensored Shannon McVeigh and the conscious voice of the South, Tim Ray. Tune into Awaken Atlanta on the UI Media Network, sponsored by the United Intentions Foundation, and discover a whole new way of looking at the world as we bring to you everything from wellness to entertainment, motivation to current events, games, contests, prizes, and much more. Listen to us on Spreaker and watch us live on Facebook at United Intentions every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern. You can follow us on Instagram at United Intentions and on Twitter at Higher Intentions. We hope to see you there.
All right, we are back. Boy, it almost makes me want to go through my list of exes and just give this a shot. Maybe not. All right, I'm out of that thought there.
Better you than me.
I just want to see the formula work. That's all. Can I do that and then get out? No, then I'm creating another ex. I mean, I keep creating it. I can't be doing that, right? All right, so we are back talking to Veronica Isles, and what a great topic today. Getting back with the ones you loved and how can it work? And apparently, from her perspective, of course. In fact, once you transform that change within yourself, anything's possible is what you're telling us. Mm-hmm. So what are these resources that you have that assist you in the process here? And then I want to talk a little bit about divinity here in a minute, all right? So tell me your resources.
Well, I mean, I like to, there's different techniques that someone can do to bring this about. So in setting an intention, you can do affirmations, visualizations, meditations. I have a technique called the what if technique. And basically that is turning around a fear to a positive. So for example, someone might have something replaying in their mind that says, what if he'll never call? You just turn it around to what if he always calls?
Ooh.
That sort of thing. So it's like a gentle suggestion, because a lot of times bold affirmations feel like lies. So sort of this gentle way of posing out the possibility of something new. And a lot of times that takes the edge off of someone. You don't want to be crying all the time when trying to attract back a new situation. Like, you want to pick yourself up. You need to see hope. And I think
I love that. What if? So let's play the what if game real quick. I'm going to give you some scenarios, and you're going to turn them around. All right?
Sure, I'd love to.
What if I want to just choke my ex and just burn the house down?
Oh, gosh, that's horrible. What if my ex
I want to start out easy with her, an easy one.
and that was really extreme. What if my ex was no longer doing these things that frustrated me so deeply? And what if my ex was making me want to sing all the time and dance and
All
joy,
right. All
and
right.
look up the sky of joy and, you know, go do something amazing,
Okay, I
not
love that. See, you
destructive.
you could actually turn on to anything. Okay, so what if
Yeah.
what if my ex, what if
Okay.
I really want to I want my ex to be faithful to me because she's not
Yes.
faithful to me.
Right. What if I deserved respect? What if I deserved loyalty? What if my ex suddenly devoted their entire world to me and put me on a pedestal and made me feel awesome and treated
Mm.
me like a queen? Or, sort of, what if they were suddenly newly committed to this relationship and made things up to me from the past?
I love that. That's fantastic. Okay, here's another one.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, my ex and I, we constantly fight all the time, and we both can't seem to stop.
What if there was suddenly harmony in our situation? What if we suddenly agreed on things? What if we suddenly had the same sort of commitment to one another towards harmony? What if these triggers stopped happening? Things like that.
Wow. It does. It really does bring a like. What you're doing is you're bringing an alternative route, an
Yes.
alternative to your horse blinders on. That this is the only
Yes.
way, right?
Yes. And it's just a suggestion. Like, it's not like this bold, thing you're claiming, that's already happening, because it isn't already happening. Like, the good result isn't here yet, but you want to attract it.
Right.
So what if it was possible?
Right.
You know?
I think that's wonderful. What a great tool, and thank you for sharing that. So
Yeah, of
tell
course.
me about your books you got out there.
Yeah, I have 5 books,
Wow,
paperback.
5. You are busy. I mean, how can you even have a relationship? You got 5
I
books.
know.
What's going on here?
So, How to Get Your Ex Back in 25 Days, that was my first book.
Oh,
It
wow.
explains sort of the theory of why it's possible to attract back an ex. And then I have something called the 25-Day Challenge. That's a companion book. Basically, it's exercises you do within
Hold
25
that
days.
book up again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's How to Get Your Ex Back in 25 Days. Wow, I love that. It's like that movie How to Lose Your Ex in 10 Days or whatever that is,
This is how to get them. But
Yeah.
yeah, they have the 25-day challenge is exercises. So it gives a morning exercise, an afternoon one, and an evening with some guided visualizations. And it's all about reclaiming your joy for life. Because whenever there's a breakup, you feel beaten down. You feel like the world has ended. You need to reclaim your love for living again and
Right.
doing things and getting out there and feeling good and treating yourself well and getting enough sleep and making your bed and taking showers again. Sometimes people, they lose themselves to such a degree that they're no longer caring really about life. So you need to really, get it going, reconnect.
One thing happens often, and even happened to me. I mean, towards the end of the relationship, people put on weight, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's
weight
a way.
gain.
It's a way. I think personally, it's a
Yeah,
way of making yourself unattractive because you just don't feel attractive anymore.
yeah,
You're not happy. You're depressed. What do you think?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that, those are symptoms of losing yourself. You need to reclaim yourself. You need to get to the gym, start being healthy, start focusing on you, the importance of taking care of yourself. Because how is someone else going to love you if you're not treating yourself well? If you've given up on life, why on earth, is the relationship going to thrive?
Right. Great comment. Diana says, I think one of the hardest things I had to realize with my ex is not that he treated me badly, it was that I allowed it. I had to do a lot of personal growth once we broke up.
Yeah, and I think that, like, even if you don't want your ex back, like, really heal these issues inside of you. Because again, if not, you're just going to attract someone else that's going to do the same things. It's
Yeah,
just going to recycle.
at least he doesn't have an STD. That's one reason you probably stay with the ones you have. Whatever it may be. Um, I jest, but
Jeez.
I jest, but at the same time, it really, if you have something that's you really like a certain part of that person,
Hmm.
why not try to make it work? I mean, why have
Yeah,
to start all over
in
again
your
when you're going to get
heart.
the same thing but in a different
Yeah.
package?
Right. In your heart if it feels like there's more to your story, like things are unfinished. A lot of times people feel like, they want to redo. They feel like they want a second chance. You can have a second chance. You can have a third chance. I coach some people that have broken up on several occasions, but you want to sort of stop that pattern and finally get it right and start living, the kind of relationship that others are jealous of. You want to have that relationship.
And do you think it's just all as simply as not blaming the other and to look within first and
Looking,
then
yeah. from within. You can't force someone else to change. You can't force them to mold to your needs. You can change, and then it's amazing how the other person sort of matches the new feelings that you've put out, the new energy you've put out, because we all want to be happy. Like, that person doesn't want to be unhappy
Right.
either.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
desire love and happy endings.
I listen. I'm with you on that too. I
Yeah.
know Billy's going to comment on that when you watch. But I just think what you do is wonderful. So, what's the other books called that you have?
I also have Mindful Manifestations, Distinct Desire, and Creating with the Higher Self. They're all available on Amazon and my website.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's next for you now, Veronica? I mean, you're a
Yeah.
trendsetter. You're really touching on something that's very. I mean, most people don't go backwards. Most people always think you got to
Right.
go forwards, but actually they're going backwards by not dealing with the present, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, just moving ahead, trying to touch as many people as possible. I've been doing a lot of travel videos, doing videos on location. Did an adventure to Ecuador over New Year's last year where I climbed a volcano. I climbed Cotopaxi. So
Wow.
planning an adventure to Grand Cayman this year, also England. So yeah, trying to really inspire people to be adventurous and to go out there and like get their dreams, not just with an X, but in all areas of life, transforming your income, transforming your career, transforming your health, your physical appearance.
Because this formula, or I would say formula, but this wisdom, this ancient wisdom that you discovered, law of attraction,
Mhm.
understanding the power within, power of intention, the power of creating our reality,
Yeah.
is universal. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be used in anything in your life. You're saying.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And it feels so amazing to be aligned with sort of just the hope of life. Every day is a new day for an adventure. And just to really be excited when you go with the flow of life, it's amazing how life can carry you towards amazing experiences as opposed to failure or disappointment or rejection, all of that.
Listen, and how many people out there are suffering because they don't
Right.
understand this message you've been saying on this whole show. They just don't see it. They don't get it. They don't believe it. They're not aware of it. They're not have access to it.
Mhm.
What advice right now, if somebody's listening and
Yeah.
they're could be so depressed, they're ready to jump off a bridge. I mean,
Right. Oh,
that
gosh.
right, ready to take their lives, right? And there are people out
Yeah.
there. I mean, you're talking about 40. 22 to 40 vets a day alone are
Right.
killing themselves, right?
Yeah, it's
So, what
awful.
advice would you give people right now in general who are on that edge?
Well, to sort of, take a pause. A lot of times people get so emotionally wrapped up in the failures of their life and the hopelessness of their situations. Just take a pause and start to look at your life from an unemotional standpoint. Even take a look at your situation as sort of someone looking in, you sort of like a third person looking or another person looking into your
The
situation.
observer.
And yes, that's what I'm trying to say, the observer. And really logically see that, what, things can get better because I mean, it's possible to pretty much, transform anything and to sort of also give yourself a hug. Like, you want to be a good inner support system for you, like an inner cheerleader. Um, you want to be your own best friend. A lot of times we're our own worst enemy.
Wow. Listen, that's fantastic advice. I just wish more people would just realize how if we just learn to, like you're saying the whole show, to shift your perception,
Hmm.
shift the way you view something, literally can transform your outside world
Yeah.
instantaneously.
Yeah.
Because you track what you believe. And if you just look at some subconscious beliefs or unconscious beliefs that you're not wanting to deal with, bring them to your surface, view them for the first time, even the ones that are mainly in your life, you can literally
Hmm.
change your world. And
Yeah.
that's what you're
Yeah.
teaching, and that's what you're doing. And I just think
Yeah.
it's incredible work. I just incredible work, and
Thanks so much.
I'm so glad, Veronica, you're out there making a change and making a difference. And the people
Thank
who are
you.
listening, and around the world, and we listen to this forever and ever. And I just think that this is a great example of how someone literally could turn their life around in an instant
Mhm.
once they realize they have the power to create the reality, like you
Yeah.
share. Thank you so much, Veronica, coming on. If you have a minute, hang
Thank
on for a
you.
second. And we're going to be talking more about guys later on this week about creating our reality. But what a great show! What a great soul here, Veronica Isles. Catch her at youtube.com, right? Go to YouTube and / Veronica Isles. How do you miss that, right? And she's incredible. I mean, incredible stuff she's doing on YouTube as well. So, guys, also catch her on Facebook now and on uimediaapp.com. Learn more. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget, we have Beth Peters coming on with Adele Wang at 3 o'clock today. And also check out Binge Network TV. A lot to come on that, too, as well. See you then, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. See you later.
You have been listening to The Good Intention Show on the UI Radio Network. The Good Intention Show is sponsored by the United Intentions Foundation at unitedintentions.org. Look for us on Blog Talk, Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, and many more. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram under United Intentions, and on Twitter at Higher Intention. Be sure to log on to unitedintentions.org, a virtual community where you learn to create, track, and manifest your passions, one intention at a time. Have a wonderful day, and until next time, live life with intent. The United Intentions Foundation and its associates take no responsibility for the opinions and statements made by